and in this video, I want to give you 3 very important tips to get your best abs defined with your ab lines. Your abs, they can be attractive, they can be functional, they could be flatter, firmer, and yes, absolutely more defined. And how do we do that? Well, first of all, I want to invite you to the link below so that you can get your 18 secret keys to your best abs, in which I explain everything going from movement, nutrition, attitude. Yes, it's something apparently really superficial that we all want to have, the abs that we know we can have. And if I can have them, you can have them. And this has worked on hundreds of my students, so I know it works. And I invite you to the mastermind program that I'm creating for you so that we actually interact and I can help you one-on-one and in group coaching as well. I'm a life coach and I've done many things, but we can skip that for now. I just want to get to number 1 tip, and stay till the end because the most important tip that I'll give you in this video is at the end, actually. And number 1 is awareness of how we move. How are we moving? Are we walking around like this, on our phones? How are we standing? How are we sitting? It's like, oh no, hello, wake up everyone. It's like we have to be more aware in general, yes, of what's really happening in the world, but I'm talking about something physical. It's like, okay, let's say we climb stairs. Can't see the benches right here. I have a step here. So you come up and it's like awareness of where your abs are and how your core is actually involved or not in your movements, okay? Whether you go up, whether you go down, whether you walk around, maybe you're jogging, maybe you're biking. So are you holding yourself in the most elegant way, I like to call it? And this is not just for women, it's for men as well. And it doesn't matter how old or how young you are, it works for all ages. And yes, I have 18 secret keys. So these are just 3 of the tips and then some more. Because in the mastermind, I explain everything further and how you can apply it. But this is to get your best abs without crunches, without curls, without the typical abdominal exercises that I, as an instructor, was teaching in group coaching and in personal training as well. No, we don't do any of that. In fact, I don't do those abs anymore. And I could talk to you about my training, and that would take a long time, but I just want to get to the nitty-gritty of how we're moving and how somebody from the outside can see that sometimes we don't have the best posture, right? It's like, okay, straighten up, Monica. And when we are doing some fitness, okay, whether on the ball, with dumbbells, maybe elastic tubing, and we may not realize that we may have our shoulders up and we may be arched too much, like a lordosis. We don't want to do lordosis. We don't want to do kyphosis. We want to be neutral in our spine. And of course, that takes work. And it's something that I teach in my methods, including the ones for abs and the one that's called Natural Yoga Pilates, in which I combine yoga, Pilates, natural movement, and yes, everything that I know, I love to teach. So I'm going to be helping you as much as possible. And what am I doing? Oh, I just wanted to teach, to show you that let's say you're working with your elastic tubing and you may be doing something like this that I was showing you. It may be something like this, and then you realize while looking in the mirror that you're arching too much, or maybe you're going like this, or lifting your shoulders. It's like so many little details of posture. It's like, okay, stand up straight. What does standing up straight mean? And what about when you walk? What about when you're doing dishes? What about when you're at the computer or on the phone? And it all takes technique, it all takes work, but the point is to actually be aware and correct ourselves. If you have somebody like a coach, I'm a coach, so I can coach you in that. I can watch you. We all need a coach, by the way. I have coaches myself in different areas. Like I have coaches in business, in my personal life, even in my training, I have a coach, and he reminds me to go down lower for, let's say, in one of my favorite moves, which is the deadlift, okay, that I've done on lives on TikTok. I invite you to my TikTok. Okay, so, usually I would go like a little too fast, and so now I'm learning to go slower. So, I mean, whichever technique you want, because sometimes we'll do some fast training, sometimes we'll go slowly, we'll, spend so many seconds and minutes in one rep. But there's so many ways of training, and I love to integrate them into what I do right now, because yes, I have been training people for over 27 years, in group settings, personal settings, corporate settings, in gyms. And guess what? Most people, even if they go to the gym of the corporation, even if they go to the gym and they do sports, maybe they may apparently, let's say they're training with the elastic tubing. Okay, let's have this example. Let's say they're very straight when they're actually doing their, for instance, their curls. Okay, can you see it here? If I do it here, okay. Apparently, everything's straight, so we're working on our abs. We have awareness that our abs are engaged, okay? But then we realize that other times when they're just picking up the weights on the floor of the gym, or maybe working at their computer, that they're slouched over. We do this a lot because we slack. We don't have that consciousness, that awareness that, hey, let's check myself. So get a coach. I mean, I have many tips intertwined with this one, but how do you become aware? Well, I would say get a mirror. Okay, if you have a mirror, you can do, okay, straighten up. It's like you realize that. You can have somebody telling you. Sometimes you'll ask an accountability partner, someone of your family, friends whom you live with or whom you spend time with. Hey, whenever you see me kind of like that, which is typical. I've seen this in teenagers. I've seen it in kids, just like that. And they may be thin or fat, doesn't matter. It's like the posture is everything. Posture and movement. So actually have that awareness, and that's number one. And number two is to also have awareness in your eating habits. What do you eat? What do you drink? And how does that feel and look on your abs? Because like most of the time I eat everything whole, like brown rice, like whole wheat flour in any case. I eat everything whole and big and organic, and instead of drinking juices, I usually eat the whole fruits. Okay, so I have pretty good habits when it comes to organic and whole. Yet, you know, I may go to this reunion or have somebody give me a piece of cake or some white bread that I love, because yes, I come from Italian and French part of my family, and whichever part of the family, because the Venezuelan part is also very delicious food. It's like, okay, whichever. We all have like traditions that give us comfort, but I have found comfort food in my own vegan journey. And by the way, I'm a vegan. I've been there. I've been totally plant-based. More than plant-based, I'm plant-powered. So my high energy comes from all plants for 10 years so far, and moving like for the rest of my life. As long as I have breath and energy in my body, I'm just going to be plant-powered. Precisely, I have energy because of how I eat, and I also do intermittent fasting. And yes, I can talk to you about that in other masterminds. But right now, we're referring to abs. So what happens is that when I eat those delicious foods that may be refined, like they may have some white rice or white pasta, what happens is that my abs, it's like I lose the lines. It's like I get bloated. Okay, and maybe you do too. So it's not the beans, because I eat beans every single day and they don't bloat me at all. You know, you have to soak them, and I also teach you how to sprout them, and there's many ways to eat beans without bloating. And it depends on the kinds of beans and the pulses and all that. But yeah, it's like, okay, nuts, seeds, and many people say, oh, it's the banana that gives me gas. And I wonder, is it really the banana or the combination? And most of the time, we get to the point where we realize it's not necessarily the banana that gave you the gas, nor the orange. It's what else you ate with it. Okay, and sometimes these drinks, and we'll just go, you know, sometimes we eat too fast, and we also have to be aware of that. Like I just realized I was going quite fast and excited, which is also part of my personality, but I want to have the freedom to also slow down and explain to you in a slower way if you want. It's like I can adapt to different rhythms and different people according to what you want of my coaching. But the thing is to be aware. What am I eating that's hurting me or helping me? And what hurts your abs most of the time is what you already know is not good for you, or it's actually junk food. And most junk food is not because it's totally poisonous, although most of the refined candies and cookies and baked foods and all the chips that you may get at the supermarket, or, you know, the cheap food kind of thing. And that's also not true, because I could talk to you a lot about nutrition. I am a biologist and also a holistic nutritionist. I call myself a biologist in nutrition. And yes, with that holistic approach, we consider what were we feeling, what were we thinking when we ate that. Like I ate a whole chocolate cake. Why did I eat that? Sometimes I do that because it's just so good, so yummy. I'm like, the sugar it has, it tastes so good, so yummy, so sweet, that it really hurts your abs for the most part. So that refined sugar is usually not helping you either. And I could go on and tell you many things, but you know it for yourself. So just write it down. Just like you're going to be noticing how you're moving in the number one tip that I gave you, when it comes to what you're eating, actually write it down, okay? It's important. I have a notepad there, so many times I'm like, okay, this feels really good to do, let's say, my fasting in a different way, and, you know, take note of what works and what doesn't, and that's okay. Just give yourself some love and say, hey, you can do it better next time. And that's why I'm here as a coach. Oh my God, but I saved the best for last, because I said I was going to give you this number 3 tip that is related to number 1, but it's not just about your movements and how you sit and how you walk and how you train, okay? It's also about actually holding your abs in, okay? Yeah, let's say sometimes for a photo, you may do this, okay? That thing, that attitude of hey, let's really take our navel towards our spine, as I would say, or we would say in Pilates. Excuse me, I'm going to turn this off. Okay, so I'm just going to go for a few more seconds here. That when you actually say, okay, abs in, which is what I teach my students, and when they do everything with their abs in, everything gets better. Posture just flows, and it's like you stand tall, you shine. No matter your size, your weight, your height, it's not about that, because you have lots of tall people. They usually have the worst postures because they're maybe trying to fit in with the rest of the people that we're not so tall, right? But I love being petite in my case, and I actually love standing tall, so it's an advantage because I wouldn't like to be like that, you know? But sometimes we'll notice our own postures, like I said at the beginning. Anyway, so abs in, and I teach you so much more in the 18 secret keys to your best abs. You could have your abs in, maybe not right after you're eating. Okay, I don't recommend that. It all depends what you ate, so I can't tell you how many hours to wait after your dinner or after your food or whatever you're eating. I'm hungry right now. But definitely start practicing. Just, oh, abs in. You see yourself in the mirror, abs in. Maybe you're brushing your teeth, abs in. And it's going to be great because it teaches you and it trains your brain to associate certain moves as you get tighter abs, more defined abs, and everything that I teach you. So check out the link below. And if you want some of my coaching that I'm offering right now, go ahead and grab it. And thank you so much. Like it, share with your friends. This video is important. Subscribe. And I'll see you on my next videos, and I'll see you on the mastermind, where I teach you way more on how to do all this. Thank you.